So it's July 4th. I have the day off, so I thought, oh, I'll get an extra hour of sleep. So I slept an extra hour, started running after the sun came up, and found out my mistake. It turns out in July in Louisiana, it's very hot, and I got my booty whipped by my run today. But that's okay because it's summer, and summer the gears shift towards heat, getting heat acclimated and pushing hard through the hard weather more than it is like speed or endurance or anything like that. So because of that run, I was inspired today to talk about how to run in this kind of heat. I've run into a few people over the last couple weeks who have talked about their training goals and what they want to achieve and what they're not sure if they can achieve because the heat's kicking their butt. Quite literally, I ran into one guy who's not sure. Like, we have a 50K coming in October, and to do the race in October, you have to train somewhat in August and September. And I've heard a couple of people say, like, I'm not sure I can do it just because I'm having such trouble running in Louisiana heat that I'm not sure if I can make it. So we're going to talk about what to do today, to how to train in this mess, and how to continue towards your goals and not have this heat derail you. I'm Nick Cronin with Lafitte Running, and today we're talking about how to run Louisiana Summer. So, first off, it's hot. Let's not play around. The heat index today is 110. It's going to get up to like 115, maybe, like in the dead of summer, like mid-August. It's not going to get better. There's no way to make it cooler. So what do? How do you do this stuff? So first and foremost, I have for the last couple of years, like the last 10 years, run in Louisiana heat, 20-mile runs, 24-mile runs. Like I did a 100K one time that was in Oregon in August. So I was doing 30-mile runs in the dead of heat, and it's doable. So let's talk about how to do it. First and foremost, don't play around. It's hot. You can get hurt. So stay hydrated, and you're going to work your butt off more than anything else to stay cool. So first off, if you have that kind of patience and mental fortitude to run in an indoor track or on a treadmill in the air conditioner, do that. Why fight around with all this stuff? If you have like the mental strength to do 16 laps for 1 mile in an indoor track, or to just do 24 miles on a treadmill, do that. You're in the air conditioner. You're going to survive so much better. I can, for some reason, my brain can process running 24 miles on a road, but you put me on half a mile on a treadmill and I'm done. I feel like I'm not going anywhere and my brain quits. I have no idea why, but I can't, so I quit trying. So what I've done instead of a couple of years is, first off, just acknowledge that it's hard to run in Louisiana summer. Every year I go through this little process where sometime around June I hit 3 weeks where it's just terrible, and I think that I've lost it. I'm not a good runner. Maybe I'm getting too old for this. Maybe I can't do it. I can't run that fast. And then I gradually remember, oh yeah, it's because the heat index is 110. And I'm like slowly dying while I'm running, and my body's just trying not to have heat stroke. So it's not that you're like losing fitness or anything like that. Your body's just working that much harder. I kind of consider it like double work. Like you've run like you've run 1 mile and your body physiologically feels like it's ran 2. Like, it's huge amounts of effort to run in Louisiana summer. So you're gonna help yourself. First off, shorter runs are not a bad thing. If you do a thing where you do back-to-back long runs and you're doing 20 miles on Saturday and 10 miles on Sunday, go ahead and break them up. That's 30 miles. Do 15 and 15. Nothing wrong. 16 and 14. Nothing wrong with doing a shorter run and just doing it back-to-back. I've done that the last couple of weeks. Last weekend I was supposed to do a 20 and a 14. I ended up doing a 16 and a 16. I don't know if that math works out right, but it's close enough. Sometimes you do what you can do without getting hurt. The other thing you can do is, I've learned over the years that if you do the amount of time, it kind of still counts. You still kind of get that fitness once the weather starts cooling off and getting better. You'll notice that it really doesn't matter. So if you were supposed to do what normally takes you 3 hours to run, so let's say 16, 18 miles you're supposed to do that day, and it takes you like 3 hours. And it takes you, because of the heat, you have to stop and walk a lot, cool off, get your heart rate down. If you notice that it took you 3 hours to run 14 or even 12 miles, I count it. I kind of put my viewpoint more towards, okay, normally it would take me 3 hours to do this run. It took me 3 hours to do the run today in the heat. Don't worry about the mileage. I'm doing a 3 hour run today. Tomorrow I'm doing a 2 hour run today. How many miles? It'd be nice if I could do the miles I wanted to do, but we're not going to hang our hats on it. Let's just go do physical activity for 3 hours in this heat. Now, if it's winter in Louisiana, you being a wuss, go run the distance you're supposed to run. But in the summer, just do what you can, as hard as you can, without getting like heat stroke. Kind of monitor your symptoms and walk when you need to. If your heart rate won't calm down, take a break, walk, cool off. That's okay. Go ahead and I've noticed over the years that if I do a 3 hour activity, 3 hour run, it still is just as good as doing a 18-mile run in the summer. The other thing is set yourself up for success. I do shorter runs, shorter distances, and I do loops. And the reason why I do loops is I get back to either my car or my house where there's a refrigerator or an ice chest. And I start the run, I take those water bottles. I use an orange mud water bottle thing. You can also, if you just have a pack with a camelback kind of system, that's fine too. Use a bladder. But fill that sucker up with ice. Go ahead and buy you a sack of ice from the gas station and fill it up with ice every single time. Fill the bottle with ice, put water in it, and whatever you want, Gatorade, Tailwind. I use the little Noon things too for electrolytes. Stock up on a ton of electrolytes and dump them in there like crazy. So electrolyte mix, ice, and then water, and run with that. That cold water, you'd be surprised how big of a difference it is. I kind of give up halfway through the summer, and just every single time I use the water bottles, and every water bottle from start to finish is filled with ice. That water bottle, so that I don't feel ashamed about just dunking it on your head. Try to remember which one is Tailwind and which one's just water, because I mean, it's not bad, but if you dump a bunch of like sugary stuff on your head, it's a sticky mess. It is not as fun, but on the other hand, it feels so much better. It gets your body temperature down. The other thing is those popsicles that we all know, they're in a cheap little plastic sleeve. You buy them at Walmart as a little liquid, you stick them in the freezer. Those popsicles are so killer. I usually put a couple of those in the freezer, you crack them open, you eat them, and it just does so well cooling you down. You can also use those squeezy applesauce things we give our toddlers. Go to the kids section, and it's a pouch that's squeezy, and it's like 100 calories. Let me tell you, okay, so you stick goo in a freezer or an ice chest, it's a mess that's almost a solid. It's impossible to eat the stupid thing. But if you take applesauce in a squeezy pouch and you stick it in the fridge or you stick it in the cooler, it is cold, it's 100 calories, and it's tasty. Popsicles, chilled applesauce, frozen grapes, orange slices, eat cold things. And so what I usually do is like a 4 to 6 mile loop, and every time, so once an hour I come back and I drink something cold, I eat something cold, I'm pouring cold water, I'm drinking ice water. Those kind of combinations help keep me okay. I'm hot, I'm not making it, but on the other hand, I'm okay, and I'll finish the run. And that's kind of the goal, is to suffer as little as possible. You're going to still suffer, but at least you're kind of cooling down a little bit as much as that. Also, even though I'm wearing a shirt right now, I run often without a shirt. If you have a little bit of chunk there, like me, I like my beer and cookies. So I got a little thing there. It's Louisiana Summer. Check that at the door. Run without a shirt. run with a sports bra. Hey, are people looking? I don't care. It's hot. I'm cooling off the best I can. Sunscreen, though. Very important, sunscreen. Runners, especially endurance athletes, have decreased risk for a lot of things, but we have an increased risk of skin cancer. So if you are running without a shirt on, if you are running with a sports bra, sunscreen to fight that risk of sun cancer, especially an Irish white boy like me. I look like a freckled ghost running down the road if I'm not wearing a shirt. Definitely sunscreen whenever the sun comes out. So, and all in all, work towards your goals even during the summer. Just make accommodations. You can still work towards, like if you have a 50K maybe in October, you can still work toward it, even though maybe you're not running the 12-mile run you're supposed to do today. If you ran for 2 hours, you're working towards it beautifully. So keep pushing the summer. I promise, once that fall breaks in September, like runners feel it way earlier than everybody else. In September, the weather breaks, and all of a sudden you get these cool breezes in the morning that turn into hot weather later, but it starts cooling off, and all of a sudden you notice you're a little faster. And then whenever we get proper fall in October, you'll find you're just taking off, and it's like running on nothing. You get dividends running in the summer. Just make accommodations for it. So, I hope that helps. Sign up for the race we have in October, No Man's Land. You're going to love it. We have distances for everybody. Sign up, challenge yourself, because you know you'll love it. So, I'm Nick Cronin. If y'all have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will talk to you soon.